Let me ask you something. If I told you there were over 1,700 college soccer programs in this country, would that make you feel better? Or would it make you feel exactly the same as you do right now? Because most parents I talk to, when they hear that number, they nod. They say, yeah, okay, there are a lot of programs. And then they go right back to refreshing their email, waiting to hear from the same 5 schools their kid has been obsessing over since 8th grade. So here's my question. If there are 1,700 opportunities out there, why do so many families still feel stuck? That's what I want to unpack today. And I think the answer is going to surprise you, because it's not what most people think it is. Here's the honest truth. Most families are approaching college soccer recruiting like it's a lottery. You get your number. You wait. You hope somebody picks you. And I understand why it feels that way.
Because from the outside, it kind of looks like a lottery. A coach sees your kid play. He likes what he sees. He reaches out, or he doesn't. And there's this feeling that the whole thing is just out of your hands. But that's not actually how this works. Recruiting isn't a lottery. It's a system. And like any system, once you understand how it's structured, once you can see the parts, you can actually navigate it. The families who get through this process with their sanity intact, they're not luckier than you. They just stopped waiting to be discovered and started learning how the system actually works. That's what I want to give you today. I'm going to walk you through what I call the wide net smart filter system. 5 steps that completely change how you think about this process. Let's get into it.
Step 1. This is probably the most important mindset shift I can give you, so stay with me here. Most parents start the recruiting conversation with some version of this. My kid wants to play Division 1. And I'm not going to tell you that's wrong. Goals matter. Ambition matters. But here's a better question. What is my child's realistic range right now? Not one level, a range. Because the parents who navigate this well aren't thinking about a single destination. They're thinking about a band of possibilities, and they're staying open within that band. That range might look like lower D1 to strong D2, or D2 to NAIA, or D3 to NAIA to NJCAA. And here's the thing that's hard for some parents to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway because it matters. You don't miss opportunities by aiming too low. You miss them by aiming too narrow. Narrow is what kills the process.
Narrow is what leads to a family spending 2 years focused on 6 schools, and then scrambling in the spring of senior year wondering what happened. Start with range. Everything else builds from there. Step 2. And this one's going to make some of you uncomfortable. How many schools are currently on your list? Like your actual list, the one you're tracking. If your answer is somewhere between 5 and 10, you're not recruiting. You're hoping. There's a difference. If there are over 1,700 programs across NCAA, NAIA, and NJCAA combined, and you're looking at 8 of them, you've already made the process harder than it needs to be before anything has even happened. Here's a smarter structure. 5 to 10 reach schools, programs you'd love, but that are a genuine stretch. 15 to 25 realistic fits, programs that align with your child's current level. 10 to 15 safer options, programs where your child would likely be competitive for a spot. That's a working list. That's a real list. Now look, I know what some of you are thinking. That's a lot of schools. We can't research that many. And you're right. You can't do a deep dive on all of them at once. But you can build that list. You can know they exist. Because recruiting isn't about finding the one. It's about building options. Options are what give you leverage. Options are what keep you calm when one door closes. No options? That's when panic sets in.
Step 3. And this is where I see families make the decision that determines how the next 4 years go. Because once you've got a real list, you have to filter it the right way. And most parents filter by one thing: level. Is this D1? Is this D2? Is this a good program? And I get it. Level matters. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't. But level is not the whole story. Not even close. Here are the questions that actually matter when you're filtering your list. Will my child actually play here? Not could they eventually, not maybe in 2 years. Does this coach need their position at their level in their class year? Does this environment fit who my kid is? Some kids thrive in high-pressure, hard-nosed programs. Others need a different kind of culture to reach their potential. There's no wrong answer, but there is a wrong fit. Can we afford this without it becoming a source of constant stress?
I know we don't always want to talk about money in this conversation, but a financial situation that creates ongoing tension in your household affects your kid. It just does. Is this a place where they'll grow or just survive? There's a difference between challenge and misery. One makes you better. The other just wears you down. I'll be direct with you. I have seen it too many times. A player commits to the better program on paper and spends 2 years sitting on the bench, doubting themselves, wondering if they even like soccer anymore. Meanwhile, another kid goes to a program that looks less impressive from the outside, starts early, gets coached, builds confidence, has an incredible 4 years. Fit beats status. Every time. Step 4. And this one is a mindset shift as much as it's a strategy. You are not waiting to be discovered. I need you to hear that. The families who do this well, they are active participants in this process, not passive observers. That means reaching out to coaches directly, not waiting for the email, sending one. It means submitting film, not assuming coaches will find your kid on their own. It means following up, because coaches are managing a lot, and a thoughtful follow-up is not annoying. It's professional. It means being intentional about which camps and showcases you attend, and why. Here's something nobody says out loud enough. Most families don't miss out because their kid isn't good enough. They miss out because they didn't reach enough programs. They stayed in the passive lane. They waited, and the window closed.
This is a numbers game. Work the numbers. Last step, and I saved this one for the end because it's the one that gets overlooked the most. Stay in the market longer than everyone else. Yes, some programs, especially at the D1 level, fill early, sometimes very early. But a lot of opportunities, stay open much longer than parents realize, especially at NCAA Division III, NAIA, NJCAA, and I'll say something that might feel uncomfortable if you're in the middle of this right now. Some of the best fits happen in the spring of senior year. Not because the family failed to recruit early, but because they stayed in it. They kept the list active. They kept reaching out. The families who do this well don't panic when something falls through in October, and they don't quit in February thinking it's too late. Don't panic early, don't quit late. So let's bring this together. There are 1,700 college soccer programs in this country.
That's not a number meant to overwhelm you. That's a number meant to remind you that you have more options than you think. But, and this is the whole point, options don't do you any good if you're not approaching the process the right way. So here's what I want you to walk away with. Think in ranges, not single levels. Build a real list, not a wish list. Filter for fit, not just status. Be an active participant, not a passive one. And stay in the market longer than you think you need to. That's the system. That's what the families who get through this well are actually doing, even when they don't have a name for it. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but I still don't actually know what level my kid is realistically at right now, or I don't even know where to start building this list, that's exactly what the Soccer Parent Compass quiz is for. It takes less than 5 minutes, and what it gives you on the other side is a clear picture of where you are in this process and what to focus on next. The link is right below this video. Go take it. It's free, and it'll give you more clarity than another hour of Googling will. I'll see you in the next one.